What is going on, everybody? It's just Jimmy here today, bringing you some news on top of a game system that just was announced a couple days ago. It was interesting because it was a couple days ago that was on my birthday, so it was a nice little surprise to hear this from Nintendo. And this is the Nintendo Switch Lite. Now, from a lot of people who has been pretty much seeing it for the last couple days, the Nintendo Switch Lite is basically supposed to be a lighter version of this Nintendo Switch. It's supposed to be a lot more portable. Even though the Switch is already portable as it is, it's going to be a little bit more portable. Basically, in a sense, if you think about it, all it is basically a gamepad. If you think of the Wii U, it's in that same scheme of design. And such of that reason, the Nintendo Switch Lite, you cannot separate the siding like you would do with the Nintendo Switch. So for that reason, it's just going to be a gamepad. So for other games like Super Smash or Mario Kart, or maybe even Super Mario Odyssey, which I've personally, for me, I get the more satisfaction of playing it separately with the Joy-Cons, so that way I can twirl around the Switch remotes so I can actually feel like I'm actually in the game, but that's just me. Those games in particular and more that allow yourself to actually play with a gamepad, you can only play with the gamepad, if that makes sense. Yeah, so the Nintendo Switch pretty much comes at a price of about $200, and its launch date is pretty much around pretty much September 20th of 2019. So it's coming pretty quick than a lot of people may expect for, of course, the holiday season. So this is probably a perfect time for a lot of people who do not have the Nintendo Switch. They can get the Nintendo Switch now at a cheaper price. And it's kind of roughly the same thing. It's just $100 difference. But again, you also got to keep in mind, if you're going to try to buy the Nintendo Switch Lite, you have to buy separate Joy-Cons because it doesn't come with it and it's not attached to it, and it can't be separated as such. So it might be a little bit more pricey because Joy-Cons are not cheap. So you got to buy that on top of that in order to use Nintendo Switch Lite. Now, of course, if you're cool with just playing with the gamepad only and don't have to necessarily worry about it, that's cool. But again, if you want to play games like 1-2 Switch, you got to buy Joy-Cons. Also, in a sense, too, comparing it to Nintendo Switch, like I mentioned before about the handheld mode, I don't know how it's going to go into sales. I hope it does well. I really do. But again, you're comparing it between Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Lite, and it's kind of might not do much for you. It probably would benefit a lot of kids. It kind of throws it back to the 2DS and the 3DS, how they basically made the 2DS in a sense of more or less for kids, because again, the DS had the same design all across through the 3DS that was always so flimsy with the top screen, and if somebody happened to drop it, the top screen would break, and that will be the end of it. So maybe that kind of is one of the reasons why, because again, you don't have to worry about the screen being separated. It's already there with you. You pick it up and just go with it. You know what I'm saying? But if you compare the two, they basically have that problem with one side basically has handheld mode and the Nintendo Switch having everything else. So it's up by preference, and we'll see from there where we go. I think personally, again, it might be sort of negative in sales, and I want to be positive with it too, because I think it's gonna sell. It's just that it kind of got some sort of negatives going towards it, and that's just because of probably buying more Joy-Cons for that system. That's kind of about it. If you're by yourself and you play by yourself, that's kind of lonely. It's kind of sad at the same time, but but again, if you have family over, friends over, people that want to actually be curious about playing this game, they want to play it, you got to have Joy-Cons. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even controllers, like the normal, the Pro controllers, you got to play those as well. And though that won't be a problem with the Pro controllers because, wirelessly, or you could use the wired one connected to the dock. So, yeah. There's no other way of doing it for it. So it's going to be very interesting how this goes. I wish the best for it. So, but I'm still going to play with my original Nintendo Switch. Just because of the fact there's probably absolutely no point in me buying another Switch. That I already got one. So, but for those who don't, give it a shot. Listen, it's just Jimmy Leonard here talking to you about the Nintendo Switch Lite. And if more information comes my way, stay tuned.